Hello friends, it's Kathy Clement with Kathy by Design. Welcome to another Ghost of Christmas Past project. This is a little fun thing I'm doing this year for the Christmas season where I'm digging into my stash of older Christmas papers, hence the name Ghost of Christmas Past, and we're creating something fresh and new with them. Today we are doing Stamperia's Classic Christmas, which is one of my all-time favorite Christmas collections from anybody ever. I bought more of this than I can even count, and I still have some of it left in my stash. I love the traditional colors and themes, and it just makes the most beautiful cards. So I have two little cards to share with you today. These are super sweet. And then a quick tutorial showing you how to make your own frame for a shaker element using just the dies that you have in your stash. So we'll look at this one first. This uses a tape reel, like from score tape, and you just use it to make the circle. You paint it with white paint. I added some little glitter to it, put it around the cute scene on this 4x6 card. I added some really great Christmas buttons from Buttons Galore and More, and some little handmade poinsettias that I actually did last year. These beads and sequins are from their festive, I think it's festive holiday shaker mix. And all the buttons, all these really cute little buttons are from their different button collections. And I'll link to that in the description box below. So I love the way the beads spill out here on the bottom of the frame. And we've also got some sequins down here. It just gives it a really sweet vintage look. On the inside, I've created a really fun magnetic gatefold with pop-up boxes on the inside, and I'll link to a tutorial where you can learn how to make these. They're so much fun. This is the first time I've ever done 4 of them inside one card, and basically I cut my paper width to 10 and then scored it at 2.5 on each side to make my gates. And then these are the little images from the 6x6 pad, and they fit perfectly on these little pop-up boxes. So that is the top. We've got this cute little stocking over here. To cover up my magnet, I used this little cutout tag, and my magnet is actually on the back of this little flap page. So that's a really fun design right there. And in the pocket, I just have a simple little note card where you can write a message. I'm not including anything else in this one. It's just this pretty, pretty card that doubles as home decor. And of course, you can tuck in a gift card inside, which makes it a gift and a card and home decor all in one. The second 5x7 card is the one with the homemade frame. And this is just, believe it or not, plain cardstock that I inked up with gathered twigs and then brushed with a metallic wax. I've backed this with another image from the paper collection, tied twine around the top. These are more sweet little, look at this vintage Christmas bulb. These are also from Buttons Galore and More, as is the beautiful shaker mix. And I'll link to those in the supply list on my blog, and I'll link to my blog in the box below this video. So again, some handmade poinsettias, little twine bows, just sweet and simple. And on the inside of this one, I made one of my classic pop-up flaps. I just love these. They're such a fun surprise when you lower it down. And I'll link to a tutorial where you can learn how to make these in the box, the description box below this video. They're really easy, really fun, and they're just such a wonderful addition to a card. And then in the pocket below, I've just put one of the 4x6 that has a beautiful area for you to write your own personal greeting on the back. So that's the cards for today's Ghost of Christmas Past. And hang around and I'll show you how to make that frame. You can make these frames with any kind of nesting die that you have in your stash. You just need to be able to downsize the inside. I'm using, these are old Spellbinders 5x7 Matting Basics A and 5x7 Matting Basics B. So you can see that these are graduated sizes. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to select this third or maybe even the fourth. Let me see. I'm trying to size it the same as, yes. So I'm going to take this fourth frame down. Well, actually, I'm going to take the third frame down. And over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to take the fifth frame down. And this is going to give us the right amount of a margin. I just kind of eyeball this until it looks like I'm going to have the width that I want. I like to use 1/4 inch score tape. That's a little too small, so let's go with this one. And you can just do that with whatever dies you're going to work with. And then you need to bring in some cardstock. This is just my favorite Dove White from Michael's Recollection. And you're going to lay your big frame here and put some, I like to use Post-it tape down to hold it in place. And then come in with your smaller frame and you want to center it up so that it looks even and straight. And that looks pretty darn good. So I'm going to put my tape, whoops, it shifted on me. Make sure I get this back to where it needs to be. There we go. So I'm going to put this down. I'm going to bring in my cutting plates. I'm going to get my machine. And run this through. So now you pop this part out and look, you've got this gorgeous frame, but it's a little flimsy. So I actually like to do this 4 times. So this is number 1. I'm going to run 3 more through and then I'll show you how to finish that off. Once you have your 4 frames die cut, and you'll notice you have these nice little embossed edged note cards that you can tuck in. So that's like a little bonus. That's a really fun thing. I'm going to take my gathered twigs. I'm going to pick up ink on my blending tool. And you always, when you're inking, you want to start off the page and swoop in. And it's okay if you have variations in the depth of color, because that's just going to make it look more like real wood. But basically, I just want to make sure I have good coverage. And that I have the edges well. So I'm just pressing down in a circular motion and I'm supporting this frame with my hand to keep it from tearing. But you can see this only takes a few seconds to do. And then you've got this really nice looking frame, which looks great on its own. The next step is to glue 2 frames together. So my glue is going to go right on this frame, which is going to be the frame underneath. And this is just going to lend strength and stability to that frame, which is going to be strengthened considerably by the acetate cardstock. And before I go any further, I just want to take a little water, put it into my hand, and flick it onto this to give even a little bit more variation. Now you're only going to do this on this top frame. This is just going to make it look even more vintage, which is really cool. And I just have a piece of old cardstock underneath to catch the mess. All right. I'm going to set this aside. Well, actually, you can, I don't know if you can see those little water droplets, but it makes it look really cool. And I'm going to fold this in half so as to keep my frame dry. I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to put more adhesive here on the back. And you could dry this with a heat gun if you wanted to, but I'm not worried about it. And I've cut a piece of acetate to fit, and of course this will depend on the size of the frame, but you want it to fit so that you have ample coverage, all right? So this is going to go like this, all right? Now, if you want to add the metallic wax, well, let's do the other one first because the metallic wax does make your fingers messy. So we're going to do the same thing here. We're just going to glue this together. And you could have made this shades of Christmas red or Christmas green. You could have gone with black if you wanted a black frame. I mean, it's just those options are all up to you. So we're just matching this one up. And then we're going to put adhesive here. And then match these corners up. And you can see this is nice and thick. It's almost the thickness of chipboard. And I've got a little glue oozing in there. You want to clean that up quickly because it's easier to get when it's wet than it is when it's dry. Okay, that looks good. And now for the final touch. So now all you have to do is when you're ready to turn this into a shaker frame is put your foam tape on the back here. You can see how easy this is. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of this metallic gold wax. And you can use, again, you could use red if you had it. You could use green. And you see I'm just lightly brushing over the raised areas of my frame to give it that little bit of shine. And it just looks so cool. I hope the camera is picking that up because it really is a neat look. And it does not look like it's made from cardstock, which is very cool. And you can see it does mess up your fingers, but I think it's worth it for the pretty finish that you get on the frame. And because we spritzed that, flicked that with water a little bit, you get this really cool vintage overall feeling. So now all you have to do is add your foam tape and put it on your shaker card and you are good to go. So that's my mini tutorial for this Ghost of Christmas Past installment. I would love to hear from you in the comments below. Are you enjoying this series? Have you been pulling out your older papers and making new things with them? Let me hear from you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll be back on Wednesday with our full Wonderful Wednesday tutorial using Maja Design Christmas Nostalgia. And this is just to encourage you to dig into your stash and make beautiful things this Christmas. All right, guys, thanks for joining me. Go get your craft done. Bye.
Dashing through the snow with a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight.